Okay, so, Solon, we come to this present day with you waking up from fretful sleep. You're immediately aware of the jostling of the vehicle beneath you. Your body is sore from riding in the back of this truck on this rocky terrain, and you hear the murmur of voices surrounding you. You open your eyes. You see on your right, Anastasia and Arya are curled together. Arya's got her head rested on your older sister's shoulder, half asleep. Anastasia is in deep conversation with several other members present. Axel, would you like to describe yourself?
I can do you one better. If my Discord was live. I accidentally clicked on Kenz's Discord.
Oh
Awesome.
god. Wrong one.
Alright. Let me send it to NPC Frisco's real quick. This is Axel. You notice a peculiar prosthetic leg dangling from a stump. A red scarf flows the very, very slight breeze with the space wind.
He is sitting not too close to Anastasia, but close enough. Every once in a while, you see Arya's eyes kind of sleepily dart over towards him, and then they go back somewhere else. You also see Katerina and Alexander, two of your close friends, and Ivan and Vlad. They are sitting the closest to you.
No.
There are other members as well, students that you have known, some for a while over the last few years and some more recently displaced. And then you remember, everybody's here in the back of this truck, heading toward your home because of you. Because you've been planning. You've been plotting. Ever since your father moved you to the UK branch of the DWMA, you have been trying to figure out how to get back here to enact your revenge. And just the very thought of how your mother looked, that one glimpse you got to see of her before your father pulled you away, it fills you with rage. Anastasia, however, she does not seem pleased. She's in a very heated discussion with Ivan. You tune in. You start to listen to the words actually being said instead of just the volume at which they're being thrown back and forth. And you hear Ivan smarting off in his typical irritating voice. I don't see what your fucking problem is. Dude, we're already in Russia. We'll be back there in what, an hour? 2? And now you want to bring this up? Anastasia huffs. You see her carefully choosing her words, trying to keep her composure like you've known her to always do, but it is clearly getting to her. You can see the corners of her eyes are beginning to twitch, and the muscles in her jaw are tensing quite a lot. Would you like to join into this conversation, or just listen to them fight?
You will
I want to listen for a little bit longer.
Look, You never think things through. What happens when the Academy figures out where we are? What then? What then, asshole? Because you know they're gonna figure it out. They're not stupid. You think I fucking care what happens? I mean, like, why do we even have to go back there? We're going home. Hell, half of us in here didn't even want to leave in the first place. I swear to God. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with you. She sighs, rubs at her temples a little bit. Vlad turns next to his partner and he kind of rubs at the bridge of his nose. I don't know what you guys are arguing about. Look, you could have reported us back at the Academy. If you thought it was such a bad idea, then why didn't you? Well, you didn't give me much of a choice. No. It wasn't because you didn't have time. It was because you didn't want your brother to get in trouble, wasn't it? And you thought you could talk us out of it before it was too late, and guess what? It's too late! Now you're in it. You're in it now, and you're gonna be in just as much trouble as the rest of us when we go back. So unless you plan on running back to London to cry to Daddy, then sit down and shut up! Anastasia, her face turning very red, slowly presses herself back into the side of the truck, wishing that she could disappear. There's a dull silence that begins to ring through the back of the truck for a moment. The rest of the group's listening now to the conversation that they'd clearly been trying to ignore. Vlad kind of leans back and kicks his feet up on a crate next to you and says, "Alright, now what we need to do is actually come up with some sort of plan, instead of sitting here and arguing about something that's already done. Solon, you're the reason we're here. You got any advice?"
We probably have a map of the area, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's your home. You've got maps of your home.
Okay, so I'm gonna, like, try and centralize the map. I mean, obviously it's in a car, so it's hard.
You guys are in the back of, like, imagine one of those enormous military trucks, like carrier trucks. So, like, you guys are all in the back of that. So you've got plenty of room between the crates to spread the map out on the floor or on top of one of the crates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go ahead and do that. And kind of point out the key entrances. Like, here are the main entrances. There's enough of us to split into teams. I think we can cover more ground. And the minute someone sees anything, we don't engage without the others. We radio it, meet up, design a rendezvous point several different rendezvous points that we can meet up in. And then we deal with him.
Don't engage. You don't want us to engage. Sounds to me like you're scared, Solon. Aren't you the one who drug us out here in the first place? You are the one who told us we could do this. You gathered us all here.
We can do that. I'm gonna kind of like turn towards him. So I'm like dead on with him. And we can do this, but that doesn't mean we get to be stupid about it.
Anastasia
You guys.
stops.
I kind of I subtly acknowledge it without just the eye roll.
You're rolling your eyes at Anastasia?
Not necessarily at her, just kind of acknowledging that she scoffed.
She is. You kind of glance at her a little as you do it.
Yeah,
she will not make eye contact with you. She is furious. She is seething right now. And you can tell that some of it is directed at you. However, when Axel starts to talk, her eyes kind of dart in his direction.
You guys should all be scared.
Everyone immediately just turns to look at you.
Piano music stops.
Axel is...
Who the fuck are you supposed to be? You're not one of
He's
us.
Axel's sort of just sitting in the back corner with his only good arm gripping at the handle on his blade, and he says, "Trust me, you have no idea what awaits you beyond the threshold."
The threshold? What are you talking about?
You'll see soon enough. This mission you are carrying out, once you enter its domain, it is, well, you've all but signed your death warrants.
Get a load of this guy. Doom and the gloom over here.
I've come face to face with him before. Sure, he's dangerous, but he can be dealt with.
Have you come face to face with him before, Solon?
The wolf?
You have not.
Okay, so
This is your backstory being played out.
right, but I would have seen him.
You did not see him. You only know that your mother was killed by him, according to what everybody else told you.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, don't come crying to me when you lose an arm or a leg, or perhaps most of your body. If you survive, that is.
That's called foreshadowing, folks.
Yeah, a fun fact, actually, a little interjection. The reason I made Axel missing some limbs as a bit of poetry to Solon.
Yeah, I figured it was like, that's ironic. So, actually, give me a
In
second.
the distance.
My mom
Record
called me
scratch.
today.
You might be wondering how I got here.
Yep, that's me.
Yep, that's me. You may be wondering how I got here. Well, it just pans to a wolf ripping someone's arm off.
It's not a long
What were you
story.
saying, Colt?
He said BRB.
Or
Oh,
the
okay.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off version of the Wolf of Muskel.
How's Axel's voice so far?
I like it. I like the kind of
Yeah.
metallic, gravelly tinge you got going on.
Yeah.
Hello there, I am Axel's brother Baxel. Pleasure to meet you.
Axel.
No, I'm
He is all
Axel.
doom and gloom. I still have my limbs.
I'm Axel. You're Rose, and we actually have a metal band together.
No!
We are not doing Axel Rose. I am not doing Guns N' Roses. I'm leaving. I'm gone.
I actually, my girlfriend pitched the name, but he was pretty much named after Axel Rose.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ah,
Leaving. I'm going back to being muted until I'm needed.
Jesus
That's why I went with the
Christ.
red colors. I had to get that rose color,
So-
and you know.
My mom says, call me. I call her. It goes to voicemail, so I might have to dip out if she calls me back.
God.
All right. Well, I got all the time in the world, so.
So. Solon, you get a good look at this guy sitting in the corner. You don't know him. You've never seen him before. However, when word got around that you were going to sneak out, your sister said she knew a guy. Not your older sister. Heaven forbid your older sister. You tried to keep this from her until the last minute, but Arya said she knew a guy.
The 8-year-old.
Yep.
Yeah, Axel looks up for the first time at all of you with his strange red cat-like eyes, and he says, well, you all would be better off killing each other. After all, it's a lot better than that thing.
So you've actually seen it, Ivan says, leaning forward with interest.
He sort of shoves his cloak to the side, revealing his arm stump, and he says, I've more than seen it. I've felt it. Every tooth, every claw eating away at me.
That's comforting, Ivan says, leaning back again.
Don't mind him. there's more than enough of us to deal with him.
You hear several murmurs of agreement from the other students sitting around. There's a lot of people in the back of this truck.
More than enough, you say. That's what I thought back then.
Ivan leans
That was-
forward and he murmurs, "Hey, I mean, come on. Worst case scenario, we let the wolf eat a couple of the first years and then we can kill him while he's licking his chops, right?"
No, he's not a mere animal like that. It's much, much more than just the wolf, as they call it.
What's that supposed to mean? Ivan asks. Or, Vlad asks you.
You have no idea what kind of hideous monster it is, if you can even call it that. It is so much more beyond your understanding. We all thought it was some beast you can hunt, but it is no mere beast.
At this point, Alexander kind of swallows hard and looks toward you, Solon, and whispers, "You said that you think there are people at your castle that would be willing to help us, right? That's why we're going there first, right?"
Well, it is a good idea. You will need an army, he says as he glances over at Solon.
She's calling me. Give me a second.
Oh god.
No worries.
A lot of doom and gloom around here. If good thing
Yeah.
Axel is here to lighten the mood. I definitely
just
won't be dead in the
imagining-
first 5 minutes.
You're the one driving the truck, and every once in a while you like peek back through the little divider.
Peek back,
Uh.
geez, kids, lighten up a little.
God.
Back
God.
in my hidey hole.
I have not been able to find art for the Wolf of Moscow that I like. I think I
Ooh.
finally found something, but I'm not sure.
I think I could probably find something. I have a perfect idea. I've
I
been
have,
picturing
like,
the wolf the entire time.
5 or 6 options, but if you can find something good, I might be willing to pick it instead. I mean, I have a lot of wolf options, considering that, like, you know, House Volkov
Did
exists.
someone say wolves?
Yes,
Someone say wolves?
I did. Just keep in mind
Sent you some
that
art.
the Wolf of Moscow is 4-legged, not 2-legged.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
sent you some art.
Ooh, yours is interesting. I have a fire wolf, actually. Kind of like him. I'll save him.
I like that one a lot just because the split jaw.
Yeah.
I look up Demon
Here's-
Wolf and I get a bunch of furry porn. Thanks, internet.
Yep, that's the problem with trying to. I looked up art. Liam was on a call with me the other day when I was looking up art for all of the different houses, and my god, I wasn't even trying to look up dirty things. I was just like looking for like anthropomorphic animals, and nope, it was not
These are all
saved.
shameful and horrifying and save, save, save,
This
save,
was
save, save.
not what I asked for.
So, have any of you guys watched ReZero?
Yep, that's my second favorite anime of all time.
I
Yeah,
don't think I've
Puck.
seen it.
Yeah, Puck. Puck's fucked up.
Puck? Yeah, Puck is exactly what I envision the wolf to look like. I have a few pictures that I've
That
saved.
you want it to look like Puck?
Like big Puck.
I have questions.
I will send the art. I will send Puck.
I have so many questions.
I have
Send
a
the
few
art
pictures
through.
too also.
I got it. You never really see the full form.
Yeah.
But I believe he's
But,
called
like-
the Beast of the End.
Yeah. And like you only really like see this.
You see the silhouette, which is the most
Yeah.
horrifying thing.
I'm intrigued.
Here, I just
It's
sent
kind of
2
a-
pictures,
yeah.
and he's about to send.
Are you sending them on Discord or?
Discord, yeah.
On Discord, and I sent them into my red room. If they're gonna voice it, there we go. I accidentally tagged myself in it.
No! Jesus fucking
Yeah.
Christ, he's enormous!
Yeah, he's big. That's how I've always envisioned the wolf. Just this massive beast.
He is not quite that tall. Like, he doesn't tower over the tops of the buildings tall, but, I mean, he's a...
I'm genuinely fond of the one I sent you. I'm very fond of that art.
Let me see that one.
I like the split jaw.
It's from the
Yeah, I'll send it
actual
your way.
anime.
No, not the one. No,
that
no, no,
one.
no, not that
Hold
one.
on, let me
Yeah.
send you what he sent me. Hold on. I gotta dig through my folders to get back there. Hold on.
Gotta dig through her mountains of furry porn she accidentally
Shut
found.
the fuck up for 2 seconds. That's the one he
Oh, that one's
sent me. And then the ones I was looking at, I can't use that one because I already have a name for him and for him.
She's naming her
Oh, you
porno.
could. If you
This
want to get
is-
like Eldritch.
This is what I
Oh,
was looking at for
ooh.
him.
Oh, that's
don't know.
Alucard's wolf.
I
That's
wasn't
the,
sure
uh,
what it
that's
was
the-
from, but I fucking
Yeah.
love him.
The Hound
Yeah.
of Baskerville?
Yeah.
Hold on, if you want the Hound of Baskerville art, I got that shit like on lock.
You could also get Eldritch with it and do like Dark Beast Parl from.
That's already in here, buddy.
Oh yeah.
That's what gave who gives it what not Apollyon, who's your other character? I can't think of his name off the top.
Soma.
That's what gave
Soma?
Soma the nightmare and fear of lightning and thunder.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
he exists.
Oh fuck.
He's somewhere
I'm
in
not
this
gonna
world.
tell you who this is, but this is already an active character in the story, and I love him. You want to talk
Oh,
about
shit, I like-
massive wolves towering over things? He is that big. The Wolf of Moscow is not quite that big. He is.
May I ask, is their name either Sati?
No.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to know his name?
Yes.
It won't give too much away.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're looking at.
That's his
Oh,
name.
okay.
Here, I'll send it to you, Chris.
When I first saw that image, I immediately thought of Sati from the wolves that
Yeah,
chase
the
the sun
Hound
and
of
moon.
Baskerville is fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm highly considering using that art that I sent you guys just because I have a reason to, so I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah. Oh god.
Using some
And then
monster
Apollyon
hunters
is
for my
probably
fucking
gonna
campaign,
end
too.
up.
We got some monster, we got some
Apollyon's
monster
gonna
monsters
end
I'm
up
tossing by.
what?
End up probably fighting it with the rest of the party. Hound of Baskerville, and it's gonna be some.
You
Fucking
guys
Alucard
have
shit.
a lot of things to fight. Don't get ahead of yourself.
No, I'm just saying eventually. I'm saying future stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was just saying it's gonna end up being some.
Yeah, the judge canonically got hit by a bus, so he's dead now.
He did not. Shut the fuck up.
I like
The
to think
judge
he
got
did.
isekai'd and he's now an anime girl.
Oh
No,
my
he got hit by Truck-kun.
He got hit by truck.
But yeah, I was
But yeah, the judge.
saying
the
if
judge is
it's
dead
Hound
now.
of it, Judge is dead. But I was thinking like with Alucard because I based Polyon's melody off of Alucard, and that mixed with like Hound of Baskerville, Wolf of Moscow.
Someone
That's
got
pretty
mad
cool.
that I based the judge off of a character named Falco. Got
From
real mad at me because of that.
Mhm.
Hey, now
Falco
they're in the
from-
call.
You
ah,
wanna fight?
You're the one that called me out on John basing the voice on Falco.
You did! I
Falco?
was just pointing it out!
Falco from where?
Falco from fucking Edge Runners.
Oh shit, I love that.
That's who his voice is based off of, man.
That's
I have
awesome.
no idea what you're talking about at all. I merely
I
was there to
listened to
raise
this.
my ante.
Mm-hmm.
You're just mad. You just mad. My judge voice is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I've got a character in my campaign who is a '90s radio host.
Yes. Yeah, you were
He's
telling me
also a
about
skeleton.
that.
And to summon him, they have to say Bone Town 3 times
Yes.
while holding his card.
I fucking hate it.
And he shows up, and I gotta do the voice right. He's like, "You called the Bone Town. Good to see you all again. Yeah, what can I do you for this time, folks? Welcome to the Bone Train. All aboard, ladies. Yeah." Just ends every sentence with a yeah.
God.
I hate it so fucking much.
Why do you hate it? Because it's accurate?
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Oh, the ladies loved aboard my Bone Train. Yeah.
Welcome
Jesus
to.
Christ.
Now hop on aboard and we'll get you all on the road to Bone Town. Yeah. Oh god, the yeah is gonna hurt so much.
Uh-huh.
I've also got a character in my campaign named Slarp. He talks like he runs a magical item shop and he's a salamander guy.
Suffering.
My magic shop's name is Slarp Swamp Swamp. Do you need any magical items?
I'm
And
good.
you're a salamander. You sure?
I think I'm good. I think
We're
we're
only
Yeah,
lightly
I can take a
covered in
few.
mucus.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
always
yeah,
clean that
sure.
off.
You could be my sponsor. I hate that voice so much.
Uh-huh.
What? Would you prefer the false Hydra noises again?
No, I would not. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Welcome to my campaign now. This was a trick. It wasn't Solon's first session. This is my first session. Anyways, what are your characters' names?
Jesus Christ. You didn't even tell me what the specifications for characters in your campaign were.
I run 5e normal.
Is that it? Is that the only specification?
Yes! I have been wanting to run my one-shot with you guys for a long time, and it's just 5e, and I have all the books, and I can share them with you, because I pay for the subscription.
Oh god. I get so stressed out making characters in 5e because I'm always scared I'm gonna fucking
But
do it wrong.
no.
Yeah,
I will help you. I will help you all.
I have no issue doing 5e characters. I've just become so acclimated to use that I'm just so used to it.
Fair.
I will literally help you
Yeah.
both make characters in 5e if you do a one-shot.
I'll do it. I can make a 5e. Yeah.
So you guys just don't want to go to Bone Town.
I don't want to go to Bone Town, you're right.
I have no problem with Bone Town.
in my 1987 Pontiac.
No!
Fucking Oklahoma Department of Education.
No!
Okay.
My
I'm back.
campaign is still serious at the moment, but I'm waiting to finally introduce the wacky characters
Mine
I
is
have in
not.
store for them.
Mine is all joke characters. Mine is all
Like,
joke
I can't
characters,
wait
it's really
till-
not.
I can't wait till you guys meet the Dreamer. The Dreamer is one of my favorites.
Oh god.
Bone Train whenever you go on my campaign. Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Ah, Colt had a fun thing to come back to.
I apologize for anything you
103.1,
just
the
heard.
animal.
That's
No
okay.
one-
Are you
Welcome
okay?
to 103.1. the
I'm
Bone.
frustrated with the Department of Education.
So am
Sounds
I.
not accurate.
They
Yeah.
basically have told my mother is you need to move all 900 plus of your files from your Google Drive to this Teams Drive before we shut it down, and we're not going to provide you with a solution to do it.
Thanks, Obama.
Ah,
Fuck?
Thanks, Obama.
Also, yeah, Kira, I really like that idea you sent me.
Good.
So I
might.
just spent the last however long trying to figure out how to move all of those files,
Uh-huh.
getting increasingly more frustrated because I prefer to be doing this instead of wasting y'all's time.
You're fine.
Oh no, you're all
Don't
good.
worry, I waste my own time plenty.
No, I mean me too, but it's easier for me to waste my own time than waste someone else's time.
That's fair.
I mean, I would just be playing Wild Hearts right
Did you
now.
get it figured out?
Yes and no. She asked me why I was frustrated. I said I was supposed to be doing this, and she's like, "Okay, I'm just fiddling with it anyway, so you can go." Like, oh wait, whatever.
God.
Like I said, I would just be playing Wild Hearts or Rise.
I sent
About
her a
it.
video that I found that was
Not the YouTube
a
tutorial.
solution. I had
Oh my god. Okay, where the fuck were we? Because my brain is.
1-800-Bonetown.
Yeah, that's exactly where my brain is. God damn it.
All right, I'll go back to muting so you can focus.
You know, it's fine. I just don't remember where we were. We're in the back of a truck, and where were we? Somebody please help me for the love of God.
Axel just got done with his monologue about the beast being more than just what everyone thinks it is.
Right, and then Alexander said, "Do you?" Jesus
there's people in
Christ.
the castle.
Yeah, he was like, you've got people in this castle who are gonna help us, right? Because clearly Alexander is shaken by what Axel has just told you.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just sent you a little something in my red room.
Oh God.
Don't worry. I'm sure people living under this cannot be okay with living under that. I'm sure there's several people, if not the entire town, who's willing to take up arms against this thing.
If you're sure. I mean,
Well,
shouldn't we have been a little more sure before we set out like this? What if Anastasia's right? What if we get back to the academy and we get in so much trouble and everything goes terribly? I mean, what then?
Alex, take a breath. Every single person in this truck is a trained meister. We'll be fine.
Anastasia
Well,
once again rolls her eyes.
I once again give her the side eye.
She once again ignores
wish-
you.
I wish you all the best of luck in this endeavor, because even with an army, well, your chances may still very well. But I'll tag along for the ride.
But you're going to keep us safe, right? Arya says, looking over at you, Axel. You two have been friends for a few years, I would say. She met you before they were displaced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do have to say, like, something in my head. I am just hoping this is just an outside, like, audience ship thing. Is that this is just Apollyon in disguise?
God damn it.
How fucking crazy would that be?
Oh God.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
is this not something he would do?
I don't know.
Um,
I don't think Apollyon would get in the middle of this, to be honest.
Is he in the middle of it, or is he sending a bunch of kids to their deaths?
I mean,
he would do that. He would do that.
that he would do for sure.
I like.
Sending is hard though, Solon,
wish-
because everybody's here because of you. So if anybody's
True.
sending a bunch of kids to their deaths, it's you right now.
True. We'll get there later.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Alexander is mid-panic attack. He kind of just throws his head between his knees, and a cat starts petting his back slowly. She makes eye contact with you.
Was it Axel stands up and he says, and also to whoever said to let a few of the first years be sacrificed, so while we killed the beast,
Quick pause. When
I
you
will
say
say-
that, the first years in the car all sit up and are like, wait, what? In the background.
Yeah. He continues, he says, that is the worst case scenario. Every single little soul, no matter how powerful or weak, that it consumes, the more powerful it's become. So, the less casualties, the higher the chances, though those are seeming pretty slim as of.
Alexander just starts to, like, hyperventilate even harder.
So, resolve yourselves. If you truly wish to kill this beast, tag along. If not, well, you can jump out the moving car.
You see several of the first years, their eyes move towards the end of the truck. You see actual, like, cogwheels turning on whether or not they can survive jumping out of a truck going 65.
To be fair, you have a higher chance of surviving this than coming face to face with the monster.
Listen, we'll be fine. We've got the plan. We've got each other. We'll make it home. We'll
Some
kill this
plan,
thing and whatever y'all want to
Anastasia
do. My very vague yet strong plan. We'll be fine. And if whoever wants to stay can stay, and whoever wants to go back to London can go back to London. Once this thing is dead, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly. Once we kill this thing, we won't have a reason to go back to London. We can stay here. We can reinstate the Russia branch of the DWMA, or we can say fuck it and not even get involved with the DWMA anymore. We can go home. Anastasia makes eye contact with you, Axel, from across the corner. Go ahead, Solon.
Every single person here has had something taken by this beast. You can honestly look at me and tell me you don't want revenge.
I would want nothing more than that, but you need a lot of strength to do so.
Revenge isn't everything, Anastasia says, making very firm eye contact with you, Solon. There is a biting edge to that look.
It may not be everything, but when you have nothing left, it's everything you've got.
That's exactly my point, Anastasia says, leveling her gaze at you, and you can feel the ice in her stare. Some of us haven't realized that we aren't at that point yet.
Well, you still have a chance jumping out the car.
We can do it. This is the best group of that the English DWMA can muster. We'll be fine.
I'll put my faith in you for now. Either we die, or by some miraculous discovery, we manage to take it down. But I'll follow your lead for now, I suppose.
It's about this time that you feel the tires beneath you begin to decelerate. You feel the rumbling becoming rougher. And for a minute, you see anticipation in both Arya and Anastasia's eyes as you realize that you're home. And then you smell it. You smell smoke. Very strong, and underneath that thick, smoky smell, you feel this hint of coppery decay making its way in. Nobody moves. Everybody just turns to look at you as you hear the driver of your vehicle whisper, "What the fuck?"
Solon's gonna kind of like have a look of disbelief on his face, and then muster up his resolve. It's like, oh, okay, you know the plan.
The plan was for taking out the wolf after we got help at your castle. What is happening out there? Don't tell me you can't smell that.
Axel's like missing limbs begin to twitch, and he begins to cover his eye.
Before you can respond to him, Arya bolts from the corner, presses off of the back of the truck, and sprints, leaping over top of several seated students, and disappears out the back of the truck. Anastasia gives a shriek and tries to follow after, but gets tangled up in several of the students in her way.
After you.
I'm gonna kind of glance back at him and rush out of the truck, yelling back, "You all know the plan. This team, go to that entrance. That other team, go to that entrance. Vlad, Kat, Ivan, Alexander, you with me. Let's go."
You guys jump out the back of the truck, several of them looking confused. And you come around the corner to see your sister standing there. The wind running through her hair, thick with smoke. You look at the castle that you've grown up in, the place that you used to call home, and you see dozens of trails, smoke and fire coming from all over. And at the gate in front of you, you see blood smattering the ground and the walls. You see entrails splattered in various locations, and at the very center of the gate, hanging from its frame, the doors wrenched open and shredded, there's a body suspended there, wearing guard's armor, or what's left of it. The entire chest has been torn open, his skin flayed, blood dripping down, hanging ominously from the gate frame. And as you begin to look closer at him, you can see somehow he's still alive. His chest open but trembling as he tries to draw breath. His eyes have a strange golden-ish glow to them. His jaw is wrenched open, torn at one side, as he just desperately tries to draw in a breath. Arya is staring up at him, frozen. You were supposed to come to this castle for help before you went after the wolf, but it looks like someone beat you to it.
You, got a new plan here, Golden Boy?
We stick to the plan. every person here is a talented Meister. We can't let this continue. Each one of us has taken that oath to protect those who can't protect themselves from madness like this.
Arya
Let's go.
buckles in front of you, her knees hitting the blood-spattered stone, her eyes locked on the guard that looks kind of familiar to you. You can't remember his name for the life of you.
I'm gonna get in front of her and like put my face in between her and that vision.
She's staring up at you, her pupils dilated, her eyes impossibly wide. As if she's staring through you, still seeing it. You said we had a chance. He's a grown-up. What are we supposed to do?
Fight like we were trained to fight.
I don't want to. I want to go home, Solon.
It's your call, golden boy.
I know. But we can't let them torture our people. We're here. We can't just turn our backs on this. You know that.
Can't we? Anastasia says from behind you.
These are our people. We can't leave them to torture and death like this.
What people, Solon? Look! She gestures at the castle. Do you see any movement? Maybe we should check, but it kind of looks like our people are gone.
Yeah, and whose fault is that?
It's the wolves, Solon. You can't keep blaming Dad for everything. And killing him, if it's possible, isn't gonna bring Mom back. And you know it.
Yeah, well, it's a good start.
Fuck, she says, and starts walking in past the two of you.
I'm gonna like pick up Arya and do like the piggyback ride.
She just kind of numbly hangs from your shoulders. Ivan and Vlad walk up behind you, and Ivan kind of rubs at the back of his neck and goes, "Damn, you said, there might be some help here. I kind of hoped they might be alive, Solon."
Yeah, you and me both. I don't know what happened here.
Isn't it obvious?
I know exactly what did.
We should spread out and search for survivors, Katerina says, grabbing Alexander, who is still hyperventilating, even in his weapon form. You can see the spear is trembling in her fingers.
Do you know about how many people inhabited the castle?
Solon.
I did. He broke up for me. I didn't catch.
He asked how many people inhabited the castle.
Shoot, pull a number.
Make an estimate.
That's too large. I was gonna use the MW2 quote, but that's too big.
Jesus Christ.
It's a smaller town, so I'd say it's about 5,000 people.
Survivors aren't the most likely, but be safe to check.
Alexander, hyperventilating in his weapon form, whispers, If anybody was here and they were still alive, they were probably smart enough to get the fuck out. Kat says, well, that's not gonna stop me from looking, and she also begins to walk beneath the body hanging above you. And as she does, you guys watch as those golden eyes follow her.
Yeah. We can't leave that to chance. We have to make sure.
Are you following them?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So your group begins to make your way into the castle, past the gates. And you see a town, a village, and the castle itself in ruins. Buildings destroyed. Carcasses left very specifically on display. Some of them still alive, others not.
What the hell happened here?
I'd rather take my chances with Vlad the Impaler, to be honest.
You have the
He's
outer village within the walls, and you have the castle itself. Where are you going?
The plan was to search the town in a...
Well, I mean, this is before you try and fight the wolf. This is just your home.
Right. Okay, that's before that. Okay. So it was just to like search the town.
Yeah, just right now, you in the moment, you've got the village in ruins and you've got the castle, which looks to be on fire. Where do you want to go first?
Probably the residential area is close to the castle, so I'd gonna head there, and then head up to the castle to see what's going on up there.
Okay. Katerina and Alexander go off to the left. You haven't seen Anastasia since you entered. You, Arya, Axel, Ivan, and Vlad begin to make your way through this ruined area, starting into the residential area, and you begin to see not just guards anymore. There are bodies of all shapes and sizes. Particularly, it looks like the younger the person was, the more likely it was that they were eaten, at least partially.
This is madness.
Arya at this point has squeezed her eyes closed and refuses to open them.
Understandable. I'm
Your shoulders
cautiously-
are wet from her tears.
I'm cautiously walking down the street, looking for survivors. More specifically, I'm working for Anna.
Roll me a perception check. Axel, you can too if you want.
Okay.
Oh, that didn't do shit. I got a 1.
That's understandable!
Yeah.
Damn, it's like there's
I got
this
a
water
9.
in my eyes. I don't know. Axel, you get the feeling that you are being watched.
He grips the handle of his blade nervously.
You look around. It's deathly still.
Someone's here.
I glance back at Axel. Just keep moving.
What is that supposed to mean? Vlad says.
Just be on your guard.
I'm
Whatever
only
did
ever
this
on
could
my
still
guard.
be around.
No, it's long gone by now. The itch has subsided.
Vlad is in Ivan's hands immediately. You can see his long broadsword form.
Someone else is here watching from a distance. Keep your weapons at hand.
It could just be Anastasia, Ivan says, looking around. Or one of the other teams. They might have came in and tried to help look for survivors.
Do they watch people? Do they have a tendency to stalk?
No, Ivan says nervously.
Then it's not them.
You guys take a few steps forward, getting closer to the castle itself, and as you get into view, turning down a street that has a straight shot up to the castle gates from here, you see that the walls are splattered with red. Somebody has dragged bloody hands, maybe, or something else to write on the walls. You see text that reads this.
Well, that certainly fits the theme of what happened here. Let's just keep moving. We've got to fight Anna and any survivors that might still be here.
Your call, Golden Boy.
As you guys start to get closer to the actual gate to the castle itself, you see that there's something hanging from this gate too. And scattered throughout the district, there have been guards, specifically the guards that have been put on display in horrific quality. Most of them in this sort of crucifix position, others staked. A good portion of them appear to be either very dead or inexplicably hanging on. But if you were to try and remove them, it looks like they would probably die immediately. And this one hanging from the gates, he's a bit lower, in the same position as the first guard you saw. Except there's something underneath of him. Roll me another perception check.
That's a 6.
A 16.
Better. Axel, you can tell. There's a person standing underneath of this guard that has been strung up. They're wearing a long, dark cloak and a strange kind of pointed hat. They appear to be speaking to the guard. Or trying to, at least.
Blown in from Crazy Town, are we?
The second... You guys are kind of a ways off. The second that you say something, your voice carrying off of the stone, the person takes one glance at you and immediately darts into the castle.
I'm tired of the crazy. He's going to grip his blade and start charging forward. Sort of not going at full speed. He's gonna wait for Solon.
Yeah, Solon, all of a sudden you see Axel just grab his blade.
I'm gonna kind of... How do I want to say this? I'm gonna bump Arya and like, Arya, I need you to be... I need your dagger form now. Something's happening.
Okay, she says, and her body morphs into its dagger form, immediately snapping to your palm. But you can feel the tremble even in her dagger form within your palm.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm gonna just kind of like reassuringly try and grip the hilt. It's gonna be all right, and I rush after Axel.
Ivan and Vlad are like, fucking wait up! What's going on? As they try and charge after you. You guys run up to the gates. There is a man hanging there. He appears
There's
to
someone...
still be alive.
Who wants to go ahead and search for the man with the pointy hat? I can do it, so you guys can... Well, he doesn't seem to be in a very good predicament.
So,
This how is this man still alive?
would you like to investigate?
Yes.
Roll me a d20.
That's better. 18.
Okay. Immediately, you are drawn to something. You can see that this man's chest has been flayed open too, but just enough so that he hasn't been torn into pieces. His lungs are still moving in the same way, and you can visibly see the muscles contracting and expanding. But as you follow your eyes up, looking at the way his body has been ravaged, you meet his eyes, and you see the eyes look canine to you. A sort of brownish golden hue. Even their shape has begun to change.
So what's going on with him? So have you seen this before?
I assume he has.
No.
No. He looks up at it and he says, definitely a new one, this.
I see.
The eyes are staring at you desperately.
There is something else working in conjunction. Or rather, maybe someone.
Well, just be on your guard.
Well, there's a crazy pointed hat man running around in your castle. I suggest we move on.
Oh, Jesus
Agreed.
Christ. Y'all are so lucky right now. As you're having this conversation.
I'm sorry. Just imagine like this stupid hat salesman in the castle while this murder's happening. I came to sell hats and there's nobody here. Lot of blood though. Guess they don't really want hats here.
I really should have let you play a crazed merchant that's still alive in this house.
Hello?
I fucking missed my opportunity.
What happened? My family's dead. But do
The
you want
opportunity
any
is still alive.
hats? But do you want hats is the question. Not if your family dead. The answer to is your family dead is undoubtedly yes, but the question is, do you want hats for the funerals? They
I
would
think
look
this man is
stunning in
also.
them.
Are you swinging from
I'm
Crazy
leaving
Town
again,
too?
Did you swing in from Stupid Town? No, I'm actually from Idiotburg. Now who wants hats? All right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Fades into mist.
Goodbye.
He would. That's the type of character that would just inevitably disappear like the Sphinx. As you guys are having this conversation, you hear a fuck from somewhere further and echoing off of the stone. And there's a
Fuck?
ruckus that picks up.
I heard a fuck.
What? Ivan says, looking at you.
I don't know if you want to chase the fuck, but it's somewhere in there.
I'm back again. In the distance, I heard a fuck. Fucking hats everywhere. Drop my fucking hats.
My hats!
My hats. Somebody walks up. My cabbages. I'm leaving. Bye. Back in the mist.
But yeah. You guys are standing underneath this man suspended from the gate. And somewhere there is a ruckus going on further into the castle.
I think it's too late for him. Would you like to move on, Solon?
Could at least put him out of his misery.
Alright, who's gonna do it?
Ivan and Vlad make eye contact through the blade. They both look... You know, Vlad was all gung-ho a second ago, but now they don't look very, You know, oddly enough, nobody's volunteering.
The world's most tense game of rock, paper, scissors ensues.
Oh my god.
Alright, well, if no one else is going to do it, it'll be me. He,
No!
grips his
You
blade.
hear Arya say through the dagger.
He loosens his grip.
He's still alive, you can't just kill him!
Well, honestly, when facing a wolf, death is more of a mercy.
But he didn't do anything, Axel!
Well, sometimes killing isn't always. He
You
grips
see
his blade
the
tighter.
8-year-old's eyes in her blade, and they are filled with tears. In fact, it seems somehow inexplicably that there's water leaking from the blade, dripping down to the stone beneath your feet.
He looks away and grips the blade tighter without unsheathing it from its wrappings, and he's going to impale the man in his blade.
There is a shuddering gasp as the man rasps out an inexplicable word.
I'm gonna roll perception on that.
Go ahead.
That is a 19. I don't know if Solon wants to do it too, but
Yeah, sorry. 17.
That's what you get for that. I really need to create a new one just for you, Colt, that doesn't have somebody else in it.
See? Sometimes people wish for death.
You heard this awful, horrified gasp come from Arya when you did it, and now her eyes have disappeared from the blade.
Axel will sort of do a swinging motion with his blade to get the blood off, and he's going to place it in his back holster, or sheath.
You do so. You glance up and you see that Solon and Ivan and Vlad are all staring at you. Vlad through the blade.
You're going to need more resolve if you want to kill the wolf. He's going to turn away and walk in toward the inside of the castle.
I don't have any problem killing a fucking wolf, Ivan says, following after you, objecting.
Your problem is that you think it's just a wolf.
It is just a wolf, alright? There's no need to bring in all these fucking bedtime stories. He pauses,
Yes.
looking at, like, an eviscerated body. There's, like, an arm just desperately gripping a doorknob that has nothing attached to it. He stares at it for a second. And he keeps walking after you.
He turns over his shoulder and he says, "Do you know why bedtime stories exist?"
So little kids obey their parents for fear of other things, Vlad says, glancing around in his blade as well.
To teach us from making the same mistakes of our past. They're all based on reality.
It's one way to look at it, I guess, Ivan grumbles.
Especially when you've lived through those fairy tales.
You guys, as you're walking, appear to be getting closer to the scuffling. You actually begin to make out the sounds of, like, grunting and words.
I found our fuck.
Oh, did you now? Solon says as he jogs up.
As you get close to him, where Axel is stopped and is listening, you hear the ruckus as well. You begin to hear the scuffle that's happening, and you hear the words, "I just want to fucking talk to you!"
See? Fuck.
Can I roll to see if I recognize the voice?
You recognize it. I won't even make you roll.
Oh. Okay.
You know your sister's voice, and she's pissed.
Roll to perceive fuck.
fuck perceived.
As you guys are listening to this, there's a crashing sound as something hits something you think is made out of wood, maybe, and you hear a shit.
Well, you're our leader. Lead.
I'm gonna head towards the scuffling.
You start to run towards the sounds, and you round the corner to make out a figure with his arm pressed into Anastasia's throat. The fingers of that same arm curled into her hair, holding her still. He's got his other hand resting on what appears to be a crossbow. He's kind of reaching back for it when he hears your footsteps approaching. And he grabs with the fist of her hair, kind of grabs that, slams her face into the door, and then he uses the momentum of that to push off and start sprinting in another direction. Anastasia immediately drops to the ground. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna check on Anna.
You go towards Anastasia. There is blood leaking from her nose, and she appears to be dazed.
Are you okay?
She doesn't say anything. She's still kind of in and out.
I'm gonna examine her thoroughly and make sure there's no other wounds.
Axel, are you standing around and watching this happen?
Yes. He
Right.
is, yes.
Ivan and Vlad, when this happened, kind of Ivan moved forward on the balls of his feet, and then once he saw that none of you were moving, they just kind of awkwardly started standing there and looking around uncomfortably. Anastasia kind of starts to get her bearings back a little bit. She shakes her head and kind of brushes a hand against her nose. What are you looking at?
All the blood that's coming out of your nose.
Don't just stand there. Fucking do something! She gestures after where the person has disappeared.
Something tells me their work isn't done here. I'm sure we'll run into them again. You're the priority right now. Is anything else hurt?
Don't baby me, she says, kind of pushing you away as she staggers to her feet.
Stay with your sister. I'll go do recon ahead. He begins to walk towards the place where the man disappeared. Or figure.
You start walking. This person has kind of rounded a corner, and as you start to follow signs of, you've tracked before. It appears that their trail leads back out of the castle.
Who was that? What did they want?
Anastasia looks at you. Do you think I know? Only person walking around in here, I tried to talk to him. All they did was fucking run. She rubs at her nose again, more blood coming out.
Well, did you see any distinguishable marks, anything like that?
Yeah, I had a real
weird.
great look at him while he was fucking holding me against the wall. She gives you a hard look.
I find it odd that there's a singular person looking around this castle alone.
To be fair, Ivan says behind you, he probably thinks it's odd that there's other people here at all, considering he gestures toward your surroundings. You might have scared him more than he scared you. Anastasia kind of scoffs. I wasn't scared. Axel, you are standing back at the gate, underneath the man that you've just killed, and you can see a figure darting off to the left. Roll me perception again.
That is an 11.
You can't really make it out, but you see this figure appears to meet up with another figure. Way out. It's real hard for you to make out. It appears these two meet up. There's a brief conversation, and then they appear to flee towards the outskirts of the castle grounds.
No, 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 I'm not here. He is going to grip his blade and he's going to chase after them in action.
Hearing you begin to start running, Ivan and Vlad, immediately their heads kind of dart in the direction that you've gone, and then they begin to follow you. Solon?
I'm gonna hear the footsteps running away, and obviously see Vlad run off as well. I'm gonna see. Wow, shit. Are you good to run, Anna?
Anastasia just shifts into her weapon form for you to catch.
I'll catch it and run after him.
You see her eyes in the blade are angry as you sprint to catch up, easily overpowering Ivan and Vlad, and you guys, the two of you, begin sprinting after Axel, who has a good head start on you. You can't see what he's chasing, but you can see Axel, and that's enough. Axel, roll me a d20 for chase.
Alright, do I add speed onto that?
Feel free.
Alright. That is a 19.
They rolled really bad. so you're gonna get it.
All right.
Yeah, so hold on, let me see what the oh my god. Yeah, so one of the figures is keeping ahead of you, but just as the like they make it outside of the gates and they start into the trees surrounding it, just as they hit the tree line, the second figure appears to trip and gets tangled up in the briars. She rolled a fucking 2.
Ah, he sort of like, how do I want to do this? Let's see. He's going to look back at Ivan and them. How close are they?
They're a good, like, 50 yards behind you. Like, they're trying to catch up.
Yeah.
You're a fast boy.
Yeah, is there any rocks nearby?
Like, what size of rocks?
A good big rock, enough to knock somebody out.
Roll for me?
Roll for a rock? That's a 15.
There is a rock that is about the size of a baseball on the ground to your right.
Alright, as he's running, he's gonna grab that shit, and he's gonna try to throw and bonk the fuck out of that person that just tripped over to knock him out, and he's gonna keep chasing after the second one. So I'm gonna roll to hit.
Go ahead.
That is an 18.
So here's what happens with that. As you throw this rock, you know you're gonna hit your mark, and this rock goes just darting towards this person, except it is intercepted by the second figure, which hurls it out of the way with what looks like a crossbow. Taking the hit, there's this loud thunk of wood and metal as the rock impacts it. And suddenly, the second figure is standing over the body of the first, aggressively.
You seem like a lot more fun, and he's going to draw his blade, not unsheathing it from the wrappings yet, and he's going to charge at this figure who just defended.
The figure, you can see it glancing down nervously to the side. Not so much nervous for itself, but nervous for the one that is on the ground entangled in the briars.
Uh-huh.
Chris, are you here? He might
Chris.
AFK'd.
Chris.
Chris.
I'm here.
There he
I'm
is.
doing shit. I hurt my hand. Give me a sec. I was
What?
selling
Yes.
hats.
Not the
I was
fucking
Who's selling hats? Who's selling hats?
Give me a second. One moment.
He'll come back eventually.
He'll come back.
He'll come back.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
I have hope. So, Axel's performance, what do you think?
I like him. He's very...
Yeah.
He's different, and I like that he's different.
Definitely the most different I've done with a character in a while.
It's nice.
Yes.
You should have been here when I got to play Nugget. that was
God.
a wild ride. I played an orc that was like a 4-year-old.
Oh god.
And she was a wild magic orc.
Oh
And
god.
she did not give 2 fucks about anything. And Mac, who you know, was her caretaker, basically, who was like a satyr, who was trying to keep her alive, basically. And he hated everyone except for Nugget.
Reasonable.
Chris, are you back?
Yeah.
No, Chris. Oh, he is? Oh shit.
Like,
He's so far away. Chris, don't go towards
here
the
now.
light.
Wait, no, I have to. I see it. I'm going towards it.
Grandma?
Oh, shit.
Oh, hi, God. How's it going? Oh,
Um,
I'll go back. It's
God.
not too early.
Oh my
Hold on, I'm on the way back. Coming. On the way. I'm on the way. Yeah, I didn't get past the gate into heaven.
that wasn't
They sent me
Grandma.
back.
It was the Hat Man.
Not the Hat Man. So
It was that. The
Sly,
Hatchman is God, confirmed?
as Solon, you're kind of in the trees. You've been, biding your time, waiting on your children to come back. You sent them on an assignment, and you heard running and shouting. And as you move towards the edge of the trees, kind of rolling your eyes, thinking it can't be that much, you see your daughter on the ground, tangled in brambles, looking terrified. And standing over her, your son, is standing defensively, holding his crossbow, as a boy has drawn his sword and is charging towards him. And in the background, you see several other figures, weapons drawn, sprinting towards you guys as well. Solon, as you guys begin to catch up, you see two figures. See these two
Axel
figures?
threw a rocket launcher.
He did. Axel yeeted a rock as hard as he could
it's
at the
them.
smaller figure. They are younger than in this picture, I will add. The smaller one looks much, much smaller. They're teens at the most. Young adolescents. And you now see Axel charging towards the one that is still standing. You want to do anything?
I'm obviously able to catch up.
You are catching up.
Okay. I'm gonna glance at the one that's tangled up and make sure that she isn't a threat anymore, and I'm going to back up Axel with the assumption that he is defending himself, I guess.
Well, I mean, as far as defending goes, it looks like the person standing over the one in the brambles is doing the defending, but you do you.
I'm gonna back Axel up.
Okay. So you start moving forward with both of your weapons drawn and following in Axel's advance. The boy in front of you, he levels one of his crossbows at you guys, his finger beginning to move toward the trigger. Sly, you're watching all of this happen. What would you like to do?
You will see this older figure, with like whitish hair, like snow white hair, tangled in a back mess going to the back of his head. Can't quite see the eyes due to the hat hanging, pretty much covering them, and his mouth covered by a gathering of rags. He's older, and a small bird is hanging on his shoulder. As he speaks towards the both of you, charging his children. Put down your whip! No, I'm kidding.
You actually, as you are getting ready to say something, you hear your daughter kind of shriek in fear for you. She doesn't look like she knows what to do.
And how far away am I from both of them?
You're very close. Not so that you're being seen by the others, but you're close enough.
And Axel is getting ready to bonk the one defending with the flat end of his sword.
He'll step out to where he's visible. I would recommend both of you putting down your weapons immediately.
the voice seems to startle the two that you guys are pursuing as much as you guys.
Axel just sort of like stops his blade for a moment and he looks up and he says, "Oh, another hat, man."
Another hat, man. Solon's gonna stop. He levels his weapons to the point where it's not necessarily an aggressive stance, but it's still capable of defending if needed.
That's the one, Anastasia says, immediately turning out of her weapon form into human form next to you, and she points an aggressive finger at the boy. That's the one who fucking threw me into a wall.
Very rude manners of you.
Care to explain what you're doing attacking my sister and what you're doing in this castle?
He'll look to you, look back, and before he even responds, kneel down, trying to untangle the girl from the sort of what was the bindings?
The brambles.
The brambles. Not even acknowledging them as he's beginning to help her up.
Thanks, she says. And for the first time, you get a look at this figure that is helped up. She is small. She looks to be maybe 14 or 15, with this pure white hair and these odd whitened eyes, almost as though she might be blind.
Is that hair natural, or do you guys just really like dyeing your hair white?
We got 4 people with white hair. Or I guess 5.
There are so many people in this arc that have white hair. It's just a
no
thing.
white hair.
That's why I actively avoid white hair on my characters.
There are hundreds of people in this campaign that have white hair, bro.
When you spend so long hunting in the snow, your body adapts to the surroundings.
It's camouflage.
That
So you blend in more.
Right,
Unlike
and I
you
figured
walk
it was
into
just
my
stress.
territory. You walk into my territory, where I'm actively doing a bit of investigating. And
Oh,
you say he attacked you.
Yeah.
Solon.
You can see that Anastasia's nose is still bleeding. There's bruising on the side of her face.
Looks to the boy. Would you care to explain the situation a bit?
He pauses and then straightens a bit and kind of looks away. She started it, sir.
Didn't ask who started it. I was asking for context. Now, take some now, before we have to take it up back in town. Let you prefer if you want to do it out here or in front of everybody back there. Context.
He grinds his teeth together and you can see a hand clenching at his side. She fucking chased me like I was some kind of rabid dog cussing at me. And then she grabbed a hold of me and wouldn't leave me alone, so I defended myself.
Well, in all fairness, you do kind of look like a rabid dog.
You see the boy take a step towards you.
Looks towards him and grips onto the boy's shoulder. You've been chased by much more worse things than rabid dogs many a time. And for you to be startled by a... Looks back, well, another hunter, I suppose.
I'd take a rabid dog over whatever the fuck she is.
And for now, I take a rabid dog over my son if you keep up this talk.
He immediately, his face whitens a bit and he tucks his head into his shoulders.
Now, discuss this when we get back home.
So are we just going to ignore my question then? What are you doing here?
And my questions come first, then I'll answer yours. What are you doing here in the hunting grounds?
Our business is our own.
And so is mine. But we'll feel a little more loose-lipped when you speak a bit more. For that, we'll see how many, well... You see him sort of turn around and, like, nod his head a bit in several different directions. About 9 crossbow bolts to your chest. We'll see how fast it'll make you talk. Or you'll drop, whichever comes first.
You want to try that theory?
No, not entirely. But I will if I have to.
As you guys are having this conversation, the girl that is standing there is staring at you, Solon, with this a very strange look on her face compared to the two that are beside her.
Solon notices this and is put on the back foot. Okay, he's trying to act all tough, and he sees this. Can I help you?
She tucks behind her father a bit.
Now,
Well, if you
golden
must-
boy. I hate to interject, but I think finding some common ground situation.
Well, I need to find out what they're doing in our city.
Your city. And what gives you right to own this city? Which family do you belong to?
The city that owns it, the family that owns this castle.
Well, I can assure you, the only thing that owns it now is fire and brimstone.
And why is that? Do I have you to thank for that?
Really think an old man like me could manage taking down an entire castle by myself? Doing what they did to those men. Being them shred from shred. But good to know that you weren't there to help whoever was in your castle.
You see Ivan and Anastasia make eye contact from behind you.
Solon's gritting his teeth. Unfortunately, that was not within my power. If it were my decision, we would have been here and helped.
But you weren't, Zukar says. Not that it would have made a difference.
Silence, boy.
He
Trust your
grinds his teeth
judgment.
together more.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your judgment, but you are being rash. Now, as your friend said, some common ground. I'll ask you once more. What brings you to these lands?
With a sigh, Solon says, "We're looking for assistance. We're hunting down the wolf."
Immediately, the boy and girl make eye contact from behind this man.
Deep, guttural sigh. More corpses to bury. Fine by me.
And what's your purpose here?
My purpose is to ensure that things are, not kept at balance. heard of the Kankeki Rebellion?
Would I have at this point?
I do not think so. No.
Can't say that I have, no.
And my purpose would go over your head. Just know that these lands are dangerous. Travel where you will. Know what happens to you and your friends will not be remembered.
I don't need my deeds to be remembered.
I'm not saying your deeds, I'm saying you.
Hmm. So what is this rebellion?
One moment while we consult the DM. DM, you want to message me the whole thing of that real quick? Ooh-doo-doot, your information has been stalled because Google has gone down. Excuse me, tacos.
You're fine.
Are you checking your inner room chat?
I didn't. I have one of those?
Yes.
I do. Oh shit.
Yeah.
We.
Fax machine.
Did not know I had one of those. My apologies. What's my purpose? Kick
You're
butt,
you're
eat
just
ass?
worse.
What is this?
Worse email.
Oh my god. I'm here on a bit of an investigation. Our purpose here currently is for recon. But outside of that, I don't believe it's exactly within your purview.
Well, considering my purpose here is to find help, and you three seem to be quite capable, and if there's a rebellion, that means there's more of you. Surely our interests align with the protection of humanity from that beast.
I mentioned nothing of protection. I have my own things I wish to protect. And I can do it on my own terms. What you do is of your own volition. I'll make sure we make 3 more markers. Actually, how many are with them right now that I can see?
A lot. You can see Solon, Anastasia, Axel, Ivan. So there's at least 4 you can
6.
see.
Because there's 3, Solon's 3, Axel.
Yeah, but to be fair,
11.
he only saw Anastasia transform out of weapon form. He doesn't know that the other weapons are humans.
True, fair enough.
But I'm here on a hunch. These vicious murders that have taken place at your castle seem to, well, should be. It's not important. Either way, I've got my own things to deal with, my own family to
So you would
tend on.
you would prefer to dig the graves than prevent them?
Iskra looks up at you uneasily. Sly. Maybe we should help them, Dad.
Side eye glares at her a bit.
She kind of tucks down into her shoulders similarly.
Dig 1,000 graves for strangers, then dig 2 more for family.
Oh, so you're a coward then?
No.
Zukar takes an aggressive step forward. Say it again.
Hand over the chest, holding him back. You call it coward, I call it survival.
He's killed
I will
thousands of more beasts than you ever will in your entire life, Zukar says, not trying to push past your arm, but, growling over top of it.
Zuka.
He growls a little, doesn't back down this time, but doesn't say anything else.
I said
In
I trust
an-
your word.
In
It
an
is not me spill
unforgiving,
it all over the place.
Axel.
ah yes, in an unforgiving land such as this, sometimes all you can do is bury bodies. Rarely can you prevent them from being buried. Istvan, Lionel, Henrik, Naisha, Mona, Jarek, all of their deaths were sealed. Fate has a funny way of playing with us all.
And then
Mia. Go ahead.
what's the purpose? To have such the capability and power to defend those who cannot, but use it for own selfish reasons and defense.
Sometimes it is a game of waiting, biding time until you're powerful to truly deal threats.
Yeah, that time is now.
Let me ask you all. How old are you? Each and every one of you weapons meisters all.
As you're talking,
Golden boy.
Solon, Arya comes out of her dagger form, crawling up onto your back. Sly, you get a look, and it looks like this dagger is a little more than a 7, 8-year-old little girl. Looks a lot like Iskra did when she was that age. She looks scared of you.
Face doesn't change from that same stoic glance of his eyes, his mouth still covered. I asked you all a question. How old are you all?
Golden boy, you're free to answer first.
That doesn't matter. We're here now. We have a
I
purpose.
asked a question. Instead of you cavaliering about with that attitude of yours, thinking you can rule the world, I recommend you answer it. Being nice.
18, Anastasia says. What of it?
You points towards Axel.
Yes,
How old are you?
25.
And you, little one?
Arya tucks further into Solon's shoulders, fearfully. She kind of holds up her hands a little to show 7 fingers.
How many of you have siblings? Parents who love you? Family?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How many of you have parents that love you? Siblings? Anybody?
That's why we're fucking here, Ivan says, stepping up next to Solon aggressively. The wolf took that from us.
And soon he will take you all from each other as well. You have each other right now. If you go any further on this frivolous quest, we'll take that from you too. We'll take
Anastasia,
what you found.
she glances at you, Solon, with a look. Like this is what she was trying to tell you.
He has not taken everything from you yet. But you tread further in, and you will not only lose everything, you will lose more than you ever thought you had.
He speaks in truths. All of you here, you still have things left to lose.
We're here. And if the rumors are to be believed, he's weak. Now's the time to strike.
And what rumor told you he's weak? What piece of information gave you that? Your burned down home? Corpses of the ones you loved? Those were the signs of weakness to you? Or would it take the body of a 7-year-old laying in your arms to show you how weak he is?
The killing of defenseless and untrained guards do not prove anything.
Oh, but the killing of a little girl will.
Nobody's going to die. Nobody else.
I'm sure they thought that at the castle too. I'm sure all your families thought that too. I'm giving you one last chance. Turn around. Forget about the wolf.
Come on, Solon, we don't have to take this. They're not going to help us. There's no point.
No. I'll help you. I'll be the one to remember your faces still. And the next people that come along to avenge you, I'll tell them the exact same thing. That is how I'll help you.
Solon's gonna smirk and just turn around and start walking back the way they came.
You start walking. Anastasia stares at you for a long moment, Slay. And then she regretfully hangs her head and begins to follow as well. Ivan and Vlad have already turned tail. And as they start walking, Iskra takes a hesitant step after them and raises a hand, staring wistfully.
Face doesn't change the entire time, just watching them walk away.
Axel, sort of sizing up Sly for a moment, he turns away, doesn't move yet, he just faces away and harnesses his blade on his back, sort of in a show-off way, and walks back to the rest of the group.
You guys walk away. walk back through the wreckage of the outskirts of the castle. You walk back to the truck where the other teams are waiting for you. Looking downtrodden, looking less convinced of their mission now than they ever have been before. You all gather together and everyone looks to you, Solon.
Am I to assume that nobody found any survivors?
Not ones that could talk, Katerina says quietly.
Damn. Okay. Well, let's keep moving on then.
Where to next, Golden Boy?
Next stop is the fight.
Well, there may be one village that hasn't been touched by the wolf yet.
Which one's that?
That's a good question. Let me come up with a name. Let's see.
Zendikar.
uh, one sec. Give me like 2 seconds. It's a small village located in, well, I don't know much of the name, but location at the Ivory Blades. Small little outcropping.
I've never heard of this place.
Neither
How
have
do
I.
you know about it? Convenient.
Well, it's a place I took a few trips to recuperate from my hunt. And they let me stay there for a while after, well, you know.
I see. Well, we can try there and see if there's anyone willing to help us.
Seriously? We're seriously still doing this after everything that creepy old guy said? Anastasia says, looking at you.
This is the Golden Boys show, not mine.
Solon, for 5 seconds, would you just think about something other than yourself?
Look, if anyone doesn't want to go for this, is a voluntary exhibition. If you don't want to be here, you can leave.
You can stay behind with all of the dead bodies.
And one odd man selling hats.
And one odd man selling hats.
Off of the corpses.
Well, Crazy Town is that way, which is where we're heading. We prefer to stay in. Well, I don't think this is much better, to be honest.
find your resolve. We can do this.
You see, there's reluctance and unease, but also resolve in a lot of the eyes listening to you talk. They've come this far. They're gonna follow you. It's a little too late to back down now.
Well, it's no army, Golden. It's yours.
All right. Well, everyone load back up. Let's go.
And they do. They load back up.
And then we go.
You guys are traveling again. It takes most of the rest of the day to get to the Ivory Glades. Like your castle, it is also on the outskirts of Moscow. And it's a normal village. In fact, it's a breath of fresh air for many of you because you see people doing normal things, going about their day, and the sun is beginning to set, and you notice that a lot of these people are hurrying to get back into their houses. Whatever they were doing, the moment the sun has begun to set, it just disappears. And the streets begin to clear themselves. You guys unload out of the truck and get a look at this small village. Several people glance your way as they head to their homes. What would you guys like to do?
Axel will sort of get out and move towards the town leisurely.
Solon's gonna get out and look around and acknowledge what time it is. I think it would be wise to find shelter for the night. Even before
There
the
should-
wolf night was not something you wanted to be caught in.
There should be an old-fashioned inn somewhere in town. It's where I rested while I was beaten up.
Let's head there.
You guys begin walking. It is not difficult to find to the inn. It's one of the only multi-storied buildings in this area. Axel, they actually recognize you as you come in. It's very much like a bed and breakfast style where the owners, they run everything themselves.
As he walks in, he waves and he says, "The usual, please, and whatever my associates here."
You see, like, the little old lady, she's very grandma-esque. Her eyes widen as she sees this enormous group of teenagers enter her establishment. And then she
Mama will
looks around.
take care of you all.
You sit. I will go and prepare a meal for all of you. She gestures you to make yourselves at home and disappears into the back. You guys gonna get comfy?
Yes.
Yeah. Solon's gonna walk around and look at like the artwork and stuff on the walls that I assume is there.
It's very simple. I mean, you see some paintings of like the local area. You see some cute little like knickknacks across the hearth, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's like maybe 20-30 minutes when this sweet little old lady and several women who you gather are family members of hers that work here, they begin bringing out food for all of you. There's this kind of like little tavern-esque section of the inn, and you guys have seated yourselves kind of at different tables all around it and have begun to eat. Roll me perception checks, any of you who want to.
Ten.
And a 2.
Solon, there is somebody sitting in a table, not necessarily in like the corner, but they're at a table actually as close to the door as possible. And they're sitting there. They've got a cloak pulled around their shoulders and up over their head. And they are drinking, and they're alone. But every so often, you swear, it seems like they're watching your group. I mean, you guys aren't the only ones in here, but their gaze never follows anybody else. You can't quite make out who this person is, but they definitely seem interested in you lot.
Would
Most
one of
particularly you start feeling like you're getting watched. You get that little hairs prickling on the back of your neck a lot more often.
When another like worker walks by, I'm gonna kind of like stop them and ask if they know who that person is.
One of the ladies, it's not Mama, but one of the ladies stops and she glances at you and she gives you a shrug. Don't know. They came in after you did.
I see.
Can I get you anything else?
No, I'm fine. I'm gonna keep eating, but with the awareness of that person as being odd.
You keep eating.
Well, welcome to the Draconis of the outskirts. Not much happens here, not much conflict at least, for now. More of an unspoken.
Everybody seems to be kind of comfy and minding their business. What would you like to do?
What do I want to do? I'm gonna ask Axel what his encounter with the wolf was like.
Alright. Ask away.
So what made you go after the wolf?
There were a lot of us. Money, the usual. As for me, it was the... How should I put it? A bit of revenge, I suppose, and a bit of thrills. I was a bit of an adrenaline junkie when I was younger. And then it took everything from me. Not only my eye, my hand, my leg, all replaceable things, really. It took my beloved pack with it. And now I hope to one day to bury their bodies for good. The wolf itself, it's so horrifying. It was almost incomprehensible if you just think of it as a beast. It is something far, far greater.
So you're here to avenge them, then?
I suppose I am, but also to try to keep anyone else from dying. However, well, I'm not very faithful in that endeavor. More like along for the ride, I should say.
see. Well, the goal is to get everyone home once this beast has been dealt with.
Yes, but make sure you are properly prepared. Along with my group, there was many others. None of them except I don't know why I was allowed to live. Almost as sometimes I feel that survivor's guilt pinging my brain, but I ignore it. Being unprepared for the biggest mistake you can make. Even if you think you're prepared, you must do more and more and more until you feel like there's nothing left to prepare for. You prepare for a storm, a hurricane, the worst natural disasters you could ever come across. And even then, you may not be ready. It is no mere beast, it is a natural disaster in its own rights. Its effects, its terrorism is an act of nature itself.
I see. Well, I think we're ready. Especially if we find help in this town.
Solon,
Like
you
I
look
said,
up. The person at that table is now 2 tables closer to you.
Okay.
is there something wrong, Golden Boy?
Yes. The hooded man over. How far, like, what, how far away is he, or how many tables away is he?
He's like 2 tables away from you now.
Okay. The hooded figure 2 tables away from us right now has been watching us since we got here and has just moved 2 tables closer to us.
One thing about this town is that if you sense a problem, then there is a problem. So you just have to take it out. He will stand up and walk over to the hooded figure on the 2 tables down.
They tuck their head in so that the cloak covers all of their face, concealing it from you, and their hand tightens around their drink.
Got a stalking problem, buddy.
They don't say anything, but you can see a slight tremble in the gloved fingers around the drink.
Or is it a talking problem?
The figure immediately gets up and starts to walk towards the door as quickly as possible.
No, no, no.
Solon's gonna get up and cut them off.
You get in front of them, and it's enough that this figure was turning to look at Axel, and when they look back at you, you get a full look at their face, or rather, her face.
Ah, shit.
As Iskra almost
I figured.
barrels straight into you. Shit, she whispers, kind of backing up and ends up between you two and kind of backs into the wall between you two.
What'd she say you cut out when she spoke?
Oh, she starts cursing under her breath and starts to back up.
Okay.
I see a lost puppy.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. Can't someone enjoy a drink in peace? She pulls
the
the
ivory
collar
gleams.
of her cloak closer to her.
Normally, yes, but when they act the way you are acting, and interrupt someone else's drink, then no.
I am sure you're not from around here, but the first rule of the Ivory Glades is that the more inconspicuous you dress, the more suspicious you look.
She kind of glances away. Well, I wouldn't know. I've never been outside of the Embrace before.
Well, sit down, have a drink, and, well, words go a long way.
I can't. If he finds out,
You,
he won't be happy.
So then why are you here?
She kind of grinds her teeth together a little bit, contemplating.
hold on, I wanna roll sight on her.
Okay.
That is a 19.
This girl is anxious. She is trembling. Her eyes frequently dart towards the windows. But you also see a hint of that kind of enamored gaze in her eyes every time she looks at Solon.
She's here for you, golden boy.
No, she says under her breath, kind of turning away a little bit.
I know that look anywhere, young one.
I'm
Solon
not
gets
that
kinda
young. She pulls her collar more.
Solon gets kind of flustered too. Me? Why would she be here for me?
What's going on over
No,
there?
to be-
Anastasia's like murmuring to Ivan at the table.
That's Sister's sixth sense.
Oh, to be a teenager again.
I almost got into a fight with her, what I would assume is her father and her brother.
Well, to be fair, I was the one who almost threw a rock at her head.
Technically, you did throw a rock at me, she says under her breath.
Let's not worry about specifics.
Don't talk to me about the specifics of divinity.
You shot me in the chest. Semantics.
Oh man.
The bullet was small.
Did you die, though?
Oh, I used the lowest gauge. I thought it would hurt the less. I didn't know it would turn him into paste.
Oh my god.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm pretty good with secrets. Not sure about Golden Boy, but
You have to leave. She interrupts you, blurting.
and why would we have to?
What do you mean? This is where he's coming next!
Does Axel feel an itch?
Oh, yeah. It's
Solon?
faint. It's very faint.
He's coming here.
Solon.
He hits areas around his target location to strike fear. It's what he does!
Solon, I'm going to ask you something very important.
What is it?
I want you or you to get one of our members to evacuate everyone in this village immediately.
Understood.
It's your show, Golden Boy. Make the calls.
Solon, who do you choose?
To evacuate?
Mm-hmm. Who are you sending to evacuate this village?
I am going to send Ivan, I think. Yeah, Ivan. Ivan and Vlad.
Ivan and Vlad look uneasy, but they don't question you. They simply stand up and dart out the door.
The rest of you get ready. We have a rare opportunity to be prepared and fight him on our own terms.
You don't
Instead of going to him.
understand! You don't have a chance against him!
Regardless of if we have a chance or not, this is our opportunity for what we came here for.
Oh my
We also
God,
can't abandon these people.
You're all crazy. You're all crazy. All of you.
No, my dear Russian.
To be fair, you don't get around much unless you're a little crazy.
She takes a step forward, kind of grabs at your wrist, giving you a pleading look. Please, just go. Just pretend like you were never here. Okay? You don't know what he's capable of. You don't know what he can do.
My facial expression kind of softens and looks her in the eyes. I can't do that.
But
This town is too good to be ravaged and slaughtered by that thing. So, my suggestion to you, Golden Boy, that we can at least buy enough time to keep the others from being murdered, even if ourselves die. But it's your call.
please don't
If
do
that's
this. Please, please, you can't evacuate. You can't do this. You gotta listen to me.
Screw.
Shit.
Door slams open to the bar. I'm going to recommend, whatever you're doing, you stop and you come with me.
She
Right now.
She stumbles backwards, almost gets behind you, Solon. You feel her body tremble against yours. She's still holding on to your wrist, as if she forgot to let go.
Axel, I'll let Solon go.
Yeah, I like lock up my jaw and kind of look up at him and step in front of her.
Listen,
The one who's going to let all of his friends die like waste chooses to step up to defend my daughter. You hand her here right now.
Daddy, please! He's not like the
No.
others!
Silence! Here. Now.
She
I'm still standing in front of her, but like I kind of attempt to whisper to where only she could hear me. You should go. You have no what's the word I want? You have no stake in this fight.
You don't know anything about me, she whispers.
Listen, little one. I understand your fascination with our star here, but if you ever want to see him again, I suggest you get moving.
She shakes her head, starts reluctantly backing up towards Sly.
We'll wait by the door.
Apologies. Apologies
We're going
for
to have-
the problems.
We're going to have a conversation. You are going to wait by the door. Do not go outside. Do not step an inch out that door. You and I will leave together when I'm done with this conversation.
Iskra hangs her head, walks to the door, stands there, her arms loose at her sides, her hands clasped in front of her, trembling.
He'll walk up to them, specifically Solon. You have no brain cells. Do you not think? Do you not even begin to comprehend your actions here?
I break the eye contact, turn towards the chair where my jacket's like hanging off of the corner of it. I grab it, throw it on. It's like, you have an opportunity to save these people, but you won't.
As do you, and you're sending them to a slaughter. What do you think he wants? Do you think he wants to just take out people in the night like some fucking Jack the Ripper? No. He wants a hunt. He wants panic. He wants them to frenzy. What will an evacuation do? Answer me that.
You hear shouts and sounds of panic from outside as people are now hurrying down the street. In front of
No.
What did you tell me?
Imbecile! And he'll run off and grab Iskra by her arm. We're leaving.
But
Get her out of here.
You're leaving.
yes, father.
And you all. He'll look back to them all. Good luck. He'll leave.
They disappear out the door, and you hear the sounds of panic, like I said, through the streets, just getting louder and louder as people begin to evacuate. And then you hear it amidst all of the chaos that is starting outside. You hear a howl in the distance. Axel the Itch. It's back.
This was a fool's errand.
You feel pain in your phantom limbs beginning to kick. You see looks of panic, maybe of resolve, in the eyes of the students around you, and all of them are looking at you, Solon.
What you don't need is confidence. What you do need, Golden Boy, is a little bit, perhaps a little touch of madness. If you're willing to accept it into your heart, then you are ready.
I'll do what I can with what I have. If I stoop to their level, I am no better than they are.
What do we do, Solon? Kat says to you. She's holding Alexander. Several of the other students are holding their weapons and tucked by the doors of the establishment. You see the look on the tavern owner's face as she and the women who are serving you huddle together in the center of the room listening as heavy, thunderous footsteps appear outside.
Axel has already left the building.
Axel disappears out the door.
Alright, here we go. I turn to the ladies, get in the back, lock the door, find somewhere safe. And then Solon goes to looking at all the faces of the people there. My friends. My dear friends. We have been training for this moment since the moment we stepped onto the grounds of the DWMA. We took that oath knowing that one day something like this might happen. That one day someone's not gonna go home. But with that oath came a promise. A promise to those, kind of gesturing to the ladies who are going to the back room, who cannot defend themselves, with the promise that we would keep them safe from the madness that is now that will be greeting us through that front door. Now, I'm not going to force you to step out those doors and face whatever it is out there. But I, for one, will be honoring that promise. We'll be going and facing that madness like I was trained to do. And if that be my last act, so be it. But I believe in every single one of your abilities, and I know that if we work together, we can bring that beast down.
There's
So
a
who's with
scream
me?
from the back room as you ask this last question. A horrendous scream and the sounds of wood splintering and glass breaking.
Is it coming through the building, like the?
It's where the
The
ladies just went that you told to go to the back.
Well, fuck.
Outside, you begin to hear screams of terror and of agony. You hear destruction.
I hold out my hands to Anna, Arya, now.
They are immediately with you.
And I look to the rest of them. You have a choice. Stick with your teams, fight this madness, stay here, but I cannot guarantee safety. And I start walking towards the door to Destiny.
As you walk outside, you see, much like the castle, there's already blood soaking the streets. There are already some bodies. And down the street from where you entered, you see Axel. And there's a hulking, shadowy figure behind him that you can't quite make out. Axel.
You see him slowly draw his blade, revealing what is underneath this cloth, which I will send in. Where is it? The cloth drapes down to the floor, revealing this large blade. Its presence sweeps the area, not quite being as powerful as that of the... And he speaks. Long time no see, you old bastard. I'd like to tango with you one more time. How would you like to begin our little dance, old friend?
Can you hear me all right?
Can't
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
Don't know why you couldn't hear me before. That was weird.
time. All of my friends slaughtered just as all of thousands of us taken out, just nameless herds of sheep. But you will know my name, and I will engrave it into your fucking flesh.
All I know you as is another morsel between my teeth.
Maybe you don't know me, but I'd like to introduce you to my friend here. He raises his blade. Elderbouth, would you like to introduce yourself? Would you like to start with your edge, or would you like it to be more painful?
Oh shit.
Place your blade between my eyes, in my stomach, deep within my heart. I shall return to eat yours, your kin, your loved ones, everything you know.
I never said I had to be the last one standing, but I will make sure I consume a last piece of your flesh until there's nothing left to shit out. He's going to...
Determination. I smell it. But what is that underneath? Weakness.
I think you've been mistaking it for madness. He is going to strike. Yeah, he's immediately going to strike with his blade.
Solon,
That
you're
is-
watching this happen, and then there's this flash. And the next thing you know, you don't know where you are. There are flashes in your memory of Axel's attack. Axel, do you want to describe what you did?
If you don't mind, I'd like you to describe it.
Remind me what Yeldabuff does.
Yeah, that's the passive right there. But it does have a very specific theme, which you would recognize in the future.
True. Hold on. I have too many tabs. I'm losing my mind. Okay. Yeah, I would say the main thing as you're trying desperately to remember what happened is the laugh. The first and foremost thing as you try and piece the fragments of your memory together is this crazed, insane laugh coming out of Axel's mouth. Like, it's not the person that you talk to. It's something different. Something horrible.
Something wretched deep from deep within the abyss.
You remember the sword gleaming. You remember feeling as though there was something else. Not just Axel, but there was something in that sword that was alive. And you also remember the flash of teeth immediately crushing down on Axel's arm. You are scrambling to figure out what's going on. You feel pain in your body. You try and push yourself to your feet, and you don't move. You try again to push yourself up, and you look down and you realize you're moving something that isn't there. As the entirety of your arm is now missing. Through your headset, which has come out of your ear and is laying a few feet away, even from here you can hear the sounds of screaming. You hear sobbing. You hear panic. And then you hear nothing but heavy, thunderous footsteps beginning to come toward you. And then your connection snaps back into place and you can hear Anastasia shouting your name. Solon! Solon, get up! Solon, what is wrong with you? You need to guard! Do you try and move?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm so used to guarding with the missing arm.
Mhm.
I'm going to attempt to guard with it. Because I guess I don't necessarily have to justify it, but I'm gonna attempt to guard with the arm that's missing.
Okay, so you try and push yourself up and you stagger up and immediately try and swing your hand up, the one that usually holds your dagger.
Mhm.
Your secondary weapon, and you realize that you don't have it.
Yeah.
You look down and you desperately try and spot your arm and you can't find it. Anastasia is screaming at you and you see this shadowy figure looming over you. You can't quite make it out, but you do make out at the very front of it there is something gleaming within blood-stained teeth. Teeth that are as long as your arm, if not longer. Clutched between those teeth, you see a dagger.
Oh my.
And as you watch, the teeth begin to clamp down on that dagger slowly, and you and Anastasia hear through the link in your mind a scream.
Arya, where are you?
The scream is cut short as you hear a metallic cracking. And from the massive jaws in front of you, a cracked dagger falls. It hits the ground. And it looks familiar to you. In your hand, Anastasia begins to hyperventilate. The head turns in your direction.
I raise up Anna and point it at it. I'll fucking kill you! And I attempt to get to my feet.
You have no idea what's coming. This is but a taste.
As you try and get to your feet, do you charge it or do you take up a defensive stance?
I'm gonna charge.
You charge it immediately, try and swing, and the wolf, as if it's nothing, flicks its paw and throws your thrust to the side. Your blade doesn't even touch it. As Anastasia is heaved off and you are left standing there, just the pure strength of the swipe stinging your hand and your arm where you were just holding her seconds ago. The wolf bears down on you and its massive jaws open. It raises a paw, and you know you're going to get crushed. You don't have time to move. In fact, even if you could move, you wouldn't have been able to, but your legs have locked up as this claw races toward you. You see a flash of red, and you think for a moment that the adrenaline has blocked all of your nerves. You think that maybe by some miracle the gods have allowed you not to feel pain. And then your vision really registers and you see Anastasia in her human form in front of you. You can feel the spray of blood, even from where you are. The tearing of flesh. She staggers, and then she falls.
I turn myself over to attempt to crawl to her body.
You move towards her. You reach a hand out, and the wolf steps down on your hand immediately, cutting you short. Your blood is draining, and you're starting to get cold.
Anna,
Wrong, little sparrow. Never learned how to fly. Wrath is ravenous. It will consume all.
that's like burned into my mind now. And I'm still like,
No. What? I think I'll take this little one with me as a prize for your failure.
I'm like struggling to get my arm out from underneath his foot. Don't you touch her!
You watch as the wolf leans down, grabs Anastasia in its massive jaws, lifting her up, and her body goes limp, and you see no signs of life. You try to move, and the wolf's paw is so strong, and you finally get a look at what this creature looks like, and a memory snaps to you from seconds ago, another fragment that you're missing. You hear terrified screams coming from your headset. of Katerina and Alexander. You hear Katerina shrieking. The eyes! The eyes! They don't stop! They don't stop looking at you! Before there's a wet, crunching sound. And as you stare at this paw, you see an eye on it that looks vaguely familiar to you. Wide and green, staring at you in terror. As the wolf slowly raises its paw off of you, turns with Anastasia in his mouth, and begins to leave.
Put her down. Like as I'm saying that, I'm also crawling towards where Arya's on the ground. Not even real like registering through the adrenaline that she was broken just to have a weapon.
You crawl forward and you grab the hilt, the handle of the blade, and you're like, all right, we can still do this. We can still get Anastasia back. Except you don't hear anything in response, and you don't feel anything. It seems like you're just holding a broken dagger.
Arya, answer me.
You hear nothing. You
As
see
he's...
no eyes.
May I?
Mm-hmm.
As he's gripping onto the hilt of the dagger, trouncing of paws returns for a moment, only for the weight of the paw cover onto the arm he's gripping with, slowly begin to press down. Weight growing heavier and heavier at the center of his arm, the bones weakest.
You won't be needing that anymore. Allow me to help.
And he's going to full force press the paw down and snap his arm at the middle. Not cutting it in half, just breaking his arm with all of his force. Yep.
Someone's gonna scream in pain. You kill me now, or I'll be coming for you again.
Killing your friends is a mercy I shall not repeat. For you, it will be far worse. Come find me, little sparrow. It'll be all the more fun when I hear your screams again.
He will start walking away with Anastasia in his mouth.
The eye in the paw stares at you desperately. You recognize it's Ivan's. It's wide and it's scared. It never leaves you until the wolf is out of sight, and your vision blackens as you try to get up, and the pain entirely overwhelms you. And then you're swimming in darkness. But you hear something. You hear voices around you, voices that you begin to recognize. It sounds like Iskra. In a panic. sly, stern as ever. And then somebody is addressing you. Axel.
One sec. Alright. Axel speaks one last thing to Solon. You probably cannot see, but he looks to you and he says, "You. It was you. I thought I saw myself in you, but really you were just pitiable. The moment you all crossed the threshold, you were but a dead man walking. I should have finished what the wolf started." And he walks away.
We can't just leave him. Dad, we can't just leave him, please! Please don't do this. If you feel anything for me, do this for me. Please. Iskra is the last person you hear before you come back to consciousness. Days, weeks later, you don't know. But you're in a hospital bed that you don't recognize, surrounded by strangers. And as you begin to move, try and push yourself up, they all look at you with pity. And that's where I'm gonna stop.
Oh my fucking god.